I have an alter ego, just like Bruce Wayne.
Well, she's your Gen X bestie. She's random and she talks a lot. Yeah.
But before we get into that, let's take a look in the Trapper Keeper and see what happened 40 years ago this week. On May 5th, 1986, the final episode of Hardcastle and McCormick aired. On May 6th, 1986, The Cure's compilation album, Standing on a Beach, was released. And the man on the front of it was a retired fisherman named John Button. And there he is. And on May 9th, 1986, Short Circuit, starring Ali Sheedy and Steve Guttenberg, was released in theaters. It had a budget of $15 million and earned $40.7 million at the box office. Now let's get into our episode. I told you it's random over here. It's even in the name of the show. And it's about to get a little weird. I really do have an alter ego, and he's actually here to tell you all about himself. So please welcome my very first guest, Eddie.
Should I do it like Sophia on Golden Girls? Picture it. Michigan, 2021. Seriously, though, back in 2021, just like everybody else, Mishal was kind of stuck at home and bored, so she got on a little app called TikTok. And on that app, if you're not familiar with it, you make short form videos, and there's different, filters and effects and stuff that you can use. And one that was trending at the moment was the bearded cutie, I think. And so women were using it to see what they would look like as a man. And Michelle used that filter. And one of her friends duetted her video. Shout out Nadine. And was like, why do I have a crush on you? Because, if I say so myself, Michelle makes a rather handsome man. And so she started using the filter and kind of playing around with it. And it was fun. And it kind of turned into something more where she wanted to be able to do it without the filter. And here I am. My name's Eddie Carabella. My backstory with that is, rumor has it that my mother had an affair with Dr. Johnny Fever, and that's how I came to be in the world. So, yeah, I am the product of Michelle's boredom. And, hey, I'm just happy to be here.
Pretty much everything about Eddie is unexpected, including how much he actually has come to mean to me and the things he's had to teach me. And before we go any further, let's just get this out of the way. I am not trans, nor am I gender fluid.
People do ask us
Eddie
about that a
is
lot.
just a character that I created. It's hard to put this into words. Eddie is a character I created that allows me to highlight different parts of my personality or my persona that aren't naturally at the forefront when I play Michelle, which, I mean, if we're being honest, Michelle's a character too. We're characters. Several times a day, we all play a different character. So that's what Eddie is. Eddie is one of my mini characters. He's just a little extreme than most of them. A little more extreme than most of them.
Damn right I am.
So what have I learned from Eddie? Let's just get into it. Lessons from my alter ego.
This is going to be good.
Lesson 1, Eddie has taught me confidence.
I have swagger. Michelle does not. Or at least that's what she thinks. But logically, if I have swagger, she must have it too, right? I think she's still working on believing that, though.
I mean, and to be fair, society teaches women that it's not okay for us to be so bold. I think that makes it hard for us to express ourselves as freely as you do, as men do in general. So it's in there, but it can feel wrong to let it out, I guess, is the best way to put it. And I don't think maybe every woman feels that way, but I think a lot of us have really been made to feel that we're supposed to be more sweet than that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. If you're a woman, you know what I mean. So yeah. Lesson number 2, Eddie releases my mischievous side. I was raised Southern Baptist, and by some pretty strict religious standards and rules.
I have no such upbringing.
Eddie lets me release my mischievous side and to do things that I wanted to do, but was always afraid of hellfire to try.
She's getting over it, but it's taking forever.
I have come a long way, Eddie, and you know it.
All right, fair. Fair enough.
Lesson number 3, Eddie frees me from the opinions of others. People on the internet are wild, and you need to have a pretty thick skin if you're going to do something like this. Eddie has just helped me to be unbothered, less bothered, and I don't think I'd be at this point and that comfortable with dealing with negative feedback on the internet without Eddie. He's really kind of accelerated that learning process for me, so he's been good for that. He just makes it easier. He's taught me to brush things off.
She should have never been bothered in the first place, but I'm glad I can help.
And he reminds me to be playful. He's so playful and just he doesn't care. He doesn't care what you think.
I'm always down for a good time, and I don't take life or myself too seriously.
It's all Hakuna Matata over here when you're around.
She says that like it's annoying. But sometimes, when she feels like she's being too serious, she'll take a look at herself in the mirror, give a little Eddie smile and a wink, and then she normally loosens up a bit.
I can't believe you would rat me out like that. Seriously, Eddie?
Call it like I see it.
Anyway, lesson number 4, Eddie makes me a better storyteller.
I mean, she has to be a good storyteller to pull this off.
I sometimes have to tell people that Eddie isn't real.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm real. Sorta.
And being that convincing, it's intriguing, and it's really made me push the boundaries to see what I could do. It really sparked my curiosity. And I like seeing how far I can go with it and how realistic we can make Eddie. And so that's actually part of why I'm doing this today. I'm just seeing, how much different Eddie is from Mishal. And he has a pretty colorful backstory. At one point, he even had a wife. See, back in the COVID times, a lot of us were bored at home, and so the first year that I played Eddie, a lot of friends developed characters and played them as well, and we had a whole little dysfunctional, soap opera going on. So it was really fun, and I actually kind of missed those days because it was kind of like, being in like the musical at school or something, like doing theater. You got to just play a part and have some fun with your friends. And it was a lot of fun, and it was a really good place for me to work on Eddie, on his personality and facial expressions and body movements and everything. So those were good times. That was a fun time. And before we move on with all that, I try to make Eddie very convincing. I would never, ever do it to intentionally manipulate or mislead someone. Lesson number 5, Eddie has taught me a greater level of compassion and empathy. Playing Eddie and knowing how it feels when I look in the mirror and see Eddie, I understand a little better how hard it must be to feel like you are in the wrong body, or to look in the mirror and have your outsides not match your insides. So it has given me a greater level of compassion for people that's a daily struggle for. And I don't think I would have achieved that level of empathy if I hadn't played Eddie. So yeah, I think I am much more empathetic and understanding to some people I may not have been if not for Eddie. And lesson number 6, Eddie forces me to face myself. He exposes all my preconceived notions about who I think I am. Allowing Eddie to come out has shown me things about myself that I'd never really considered before. And actually, I didn't I never expected some of this would even be a part of my personality. So at first, it was kind of almost like an identity crisis. I'd wonder like where those traits come from, and how could that possibly be for me, because it didn't feel like acting. It has never felt truly like acting. Like, obviously to some extent it is, because I'm putting on makeup, and I'm modifying my appearance with theater props and things, and so there is a level of acting to it. I do kind of ham it up a little bit more than I would if I was embodying those personality traits myself, like as me. But it's never felt truly like acting. And so I really had to kind of think through all of that stuff. But in the end, I think it has become growth. Instead of being some sort of crisis, I actually think I have a deeper, better understanding of myself, who I am inside. It's been a journey within, and so because he has helped me become that better, authentic version of myself, I'm really grateful that he came back into my life back in 2021. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten here any other way, I don't think.
Oh, I love you too, man. So, have there been any downsides to having me in the picture? Like, has it cost you anything?
Oh, there have definitely been some downsides to having you around.
I guess
And
we're
number
just getting
one,
right into it.
hey, you asked. Um,
Fair.
anyway, number one, yeah, it's shown me how ugly people can be. Like, it's wild what people will say, things that they will say about me, names they will call me, things they will assume about me. People are wild on the internet, and it gets back to that lesson of having a thick skin that has really helped me deal with it. And funnily enough, some of the meanest things get said to me when I'm not playing Eddie. A lot of times, men will tell me I look like a man, or women. Even sometimes women will do it, but it's mostly men. And it's usually on videos where maybe I'm not wearing makeup and I have my hair pulled back, and I'm just wearing like a band T-shirt or something. So I'm not looking particularly, girly that day. And so I guess I'm not living up to feminine standards or something. I don't know. But I usually, ignore it. If I'm feeling extra spicy, I might play around with it a little bit. And that usually involves me posting a picture of Eddie and saying, "You ain't seen nothing yet," or "I'm a better looking man than you." And so that's kind of fun for me now. I actually don't mind it too much. But, it is unpleasant to see how ugly people can be on the internet.
For the record, I don't think you look like a man.
Thanks.
Okay, so is there anything else?
Probably one of the trickiest downsides to having you around is that you do make some people in my real life uncomfortable. Now, these people aren't the ones that have said mean things. They're not ever judgmental or mean. I just know that they're uncomfortable with the concept, and so because I have gotten so comfortable with you being around, it's sometimes hard for me to remember to kind of filter that and limit their exposure to it, because just like any other personality trait or hobby or whatever, you might not talk about it with certain groups of people, and so that's kind of how I treat it. And it doesn't really bother me. It's just sometimes I feel bad if I get too excited about something and realize I'm talking to someone who it weirds out a little bit, which I get, because it's kind of a drastic change from Mishal to Eddie. So so I just try to be careful about that. And then I think the last thing is that you are a lot of work.
Are you calling me high maintenance?
I mean, come on, you spend more time in front of the makeup mirror than I do, and you use way more hair products. So,
Hey,
and
beauty.
your nose ring is painful and your beard is itchy. So
Oh,
so those are some things that, drive me crazy. You know, another con is that I drink way more beer now
Hey,
that you're around.
it's not my fault we
So
drink
that's a
beer. You
problem.
drank beer before you met me.
Okay, but I didn't chug beer.
Okay, but chugging beer is a
Seriously.
valid skill.
Whatever.
I mean, come on.
Whatever.
I've made you more fun. You're more fun at parties now.
Okay, now I'm not saying that I think
That's
this,
all
but I
thanks to
do
me.
wonder, do you think that people find you to be vain?
Well, I'm not vain. I'm just confident. I I look good. I know I look good. So why would I deny it? Why would I deny that I am a handsome man? You're always giving me crap, but you said it yourself. I'm your alter ego. I mean, like it or not, we are the same person.
All right, well, sometimes I like it, and sometimes I don't, because you're kind of a pain in the ass. But yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, I did say that.
So what does your husband think about me? Is he bothered or weirded out at all?
No, he likes
I
you.
mean,
Well,
he always acts like he's cool with me, but you know, you never know. He doesn't tell me everything he tells you, I would assume.
well, you never know. You guys are pretty close. You do go to the bar together.
We have gone to the bar together a few times, that's true. We
Yeah,
have a good time when we hang out and go do that kind of stuff. He's a pretty cool dude.
he is cool.
I call
I
him
agree.
Bernie. It's not his name, but that's what I call him because I think he told you once that he'd be in your videos over his dead body, so you
Yep.
came up with the whole
Well,
weekend at Bernie's idea, and yeah, the nickname stuck. So Bernie's a cool dude.
yeah. A lot of people call him Bernie.
I like
Actually,
to
it's
hang
kind of
out with him.
funny.
I actually helped him work on a piece of construction equipment the other day out in the barn. So
You did
we do dude stuff
yeah.
together.
Dude stuff. You did cool. I'm glad you guys do dude stuff together. I think what it comes down to is we have a lot of fun together. You and me. I think that it's been a good time so far.
We do have a lot of fun together, and I'm glad you let me hang out and be a part of the family.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here too.
I hope you
Okay.
don't ever get tired of me, because I'd miss you too.
Who said anything about missing you? All right, I probably should wrap this up with some closing thoughts. Honestly, I think everyone should try creating an alter ego, and they do not have to be as extreme as my friend Eddie. Um, but I think it's a healthy exercise. I mean, you get to try it, it's almost like trying on different outfits, but you're trying on different parts of your personality, allowing some traits to become more dominant than others. You know, maybe it makes you wear different clothes or try different hobbies, or just gets you out of the rut of being you. I think that there's a lot of value in having an alter ego, and just learning about those other parts of yourself, you know. um, I don't know. I've had a lot of fun on this journey, and I'm glad I went on this journey. And there might come a day where maybe I don't need Eddie anymore, but I think I'm always gonna want Eddie around just because it's so much fun for me. It's just as long as I am being creative and making like content on social media or doing, whatever creatively in that way, whether there's performance involved or not. I think Eddie will always be a part of it somehow. I would miss Eddie. I, I would miss Eddie, even though I do give him some crap sometimes. So, anyway. Okay. Eddie has been a big part of my journey within, an important part of it. So, yeah. Okay, that's it for this week. Later,
Later,
dudes.
dudes.